Hello, my name is Richard Noel, and I am here to talk to you about the programming that I have done for the Korg Fisa Suprema digital accordion. My programming at present consists of 24 banks. Most of the banks are organized around genres or styles of music. And within those broad styles, such as jazz or rock, those generally have 6 scenes that are all devoted to a different type of sound. For example, let's take the jazz bank, which is number 2. Scene A almost always has an accordion sound. Scene B usually has a lead instrument. Scene 3 will be a piano or keyboard. Scene D will be something unusual for that particular genre. In this case, jazz. It's a very well-known combination of sounds is the bassoon accordion with a vibe. So that's this combination. You'll notice I'm switching from one scene to another, primarily using the master bar, like this. So I just switched from scene D to scene E, and that's generally going to be an individual lead instrument. This time it's the clarinet. And scene F is almost always going to be an organ sound. So that's a general layout. Scene A within a bank will usually be an accordion sound, but more importantly, it's the introductory sound for that type of genre. So whatever genre or style I'm looking at, the first bank, A, is a logical place to start. Let me do one more quick one with the 6 scenes, and this will be a rock sound. Again, remember the layout, which starts with A accordion. For the song that I want to play right now, Rockin' Robin, I'll start out with the piano, which is always going to be C, and then quickly switch to other settings. So that was using the bank for rock music. First sound is accordion sound. And in the basses, you'll have a strong bass with a percussion that's also strong. And then the chord is a guitar bass supported by another strong percussion sound. So just by knowing where the typical sounds are, you can easily navigate through different genres. Now let me switch to a slightly different setup. So now I'll go to bank 6, which is what I call Jazzy 2, and within it it has 3 scenes that are devoted to Gypsy Jazz, A, B, and C, and 3 scenes that are devoted to Zydeco music. The A for Gypsy Jazz will be an accordion, and the first scene, which would be D, will also be accordion. So let me give you a quick example. Here's Zydeco scene D. So scene is very basic accordion, but it has all the right accompaniment for Zydeco. There were 3 scenes, D, E, F, all devoted to Zydeco. I usually start with D because that's the most basic. C, jazz guitar. So if I go to Latin, which is bank 12 or 13, Latin first 3 banks, A, B, C, are devoted to samba. Okay, so that's it for the basic structure. And then finally there are 4 banks, 21 through 25 in my current system, where you just simply have to look at the content. For example, one of the banks is songs number 1. So there I have the Phantom of the Opera set up the way I like it. And I just go through the 4 scenes in this case that are sequentially arranged. That's the first one. So normally, of course, I go systematically through those 4 scenes to play the entire song. Another bank, which is again a different pattern, is what I call instruments. For example, I can select acoustic guitar, and everything left hand, right hand is based on acoustic guitar. instruments bank, you have different instruments that are set up to play as that instrument exclusively with nothing else added. So for the piano, I've got the piano on the left hand, the chords, and the right hand treble as well. And then finally there's a bank called classical, and there you can pick out a pipe organ, or strings, or you can play some waltzes. So what I encourage you to do is experiment, play around with the system that I created, simply because I thought it would work well for almost every style of music. So I would first become familiar with the 6 scene banks and the 3 scene banks, so you know what to expect in each of the banks and where to start out, how to advance through the different options that you would have. Now, what I have not mentioned, how you first of all find a bank. The easiest way for me to do it is go down here and you will see the button that says bank, and it's either bank going down or bank up. So if I want to go to higher number banks, I press the right button, lower I press the left button. That's how I get to a bank, and then I need to also cement that bank selection by pressing one of the scenes. So in this case, I'm on Patriotic Bank, and it's first A. Anyway, I want to go to the Patriotic Bank, so it says Patriotic March, Bank A, but I have to select it by pushing Scene A. Now I'm ready to go. Now, finally, can you use the registers? Well, the answer is yes. Let me go back to Bank 1A, which is acoustic accordion. So that's set up purposely to play like an accordionist. Now, any of these registers are going to be good. They'll change the sound of the accordion from low bassoon to Scottish music and anything in between. So it's defaulted to basic classical accordion. Now let's suppose I go to organ, which is 1F. So now I have all of the available organ sound. That's the default sound. Now say I want to have a jazzy percussion sound. So, bottom line is you can use the 14 registers to change sounds of any single selected part. So there are 6 parts up here. They're identified as being lit when they're active. So this is accordion. When that's lit, and it's the only one lit, I know I can change all the accordion sounds. Organ sounds, similar. Now, orchestra, I call it Orchestra 1, also can change the sound. That's strings, but you can change to electric piano, to banjo. So there are times when I will have two active parts. So going back to swing in bank 1C, you can see there are three parts activated, lit up. That means if you use the buttons, you won't know for sure in advance which ones are going to be changed, whether or not it will change the accordion sound, the orchestra 1, or the soloist sound. So in those cases, I don't really advocate using the additional buttons, just use the scene buttons. But if I went back and just selected one of these options, the soloist, then now the registers work.